We are playing the Leyline of Resonance. This has, whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, it's a single, that target's only a single creature you control, copy that spell. You may choose new targets for the copy. So that works incredibly well with things like Turn Inside Out or Monstrous Rage, because these things are already massive pumps. But Turn Inside Out is the new card that we have, but it's also kind of the best card in terms of just overall pumping that it can do, because this will put 6 total power on a creature. And what creatures do we have more than Cacophony Scamp and Heartfire Hero that are our MVPs when it comes to playing this deck? Because whenever they die, they deal damage equal to their power to the opponent, and we're playing the infamous Callous Sell-Sword to fling that at our opponent. So let's just say, for example, we have a Cacophony Scamp, because it's the best one to kind of have on turn 1 here. We can play this on turn 1. This is implying that we have a Leyline in our opener. If it's in our opener, we get to put it on the battlefield for free. So 4-mana card goes in play for free. We play Scamp on 1. We pass. Let's say our opponent plays a Surveil land, you know, like a reasonable human being. And then we will go to our turn. If we cast a Turn Inside Out as one of these, and say we have a Monstrous Rage, right? A Turn Inside Out will then pump this twice because of Leyline. So it'll put 6 extra power on it. And then we can have Monstrous Rage come in, because the Monstrous Roll will only attach one time. It'll be a +2 twice. So we'll get +4 plus an additional 1. And that'll be a total of 6 for 5 here. So this will be 5 pump, like 5 power applied to the Scamp. And this will be 6. And the Scamp will be at 1. So it'll be for 11 damage that we hit him. And then Cacophony Scamp has the ability, whenever it deals combat damage to a player, we may sacrifice it, and it deals damage equal to its power to any target. And just like that, on turn 2, our opponent could be dead and out of the game. And it works with like a Heartfire Hero as well. If we play Heartfire Hero on 1, and say we do the Turn Inside Out on the hero, it gets that kind of Valiant thing where it gets a 1/1 counter. And then that will be a +4 for the first one, and then +3 being 7 for total of 8 damage, because it starts obviously as 1. And then we can fling it, dealing an additional 16 damage to him, and that'll be a turn 2 lethal as well. So we have a lot of ways to find it, a lot of ways to easily do it, because it's not entirely that hard in this deck because of how well these spells are. But why did I have it sorted this way? Well, if you're looking for a budget deck, I hate to admit it, it's incredibly cheap for that. These are all commons. These are all uncommons. These are the rares in the deck if you really want to stress and get them, if you've been looking for something. And Blackcleave Cliffs is in here so you can cast the Sell-Sword, but realistically these could just be 4 more mountains if you're truly stressed on rares. And that's why this deck is such a thing that you'll see on the ladder. Like, it's just so easy to craft that it's kind of hard not to be willing to at least try it if you have the rares. Or say you've played mono red before, are you really going to worry about risking 4 rares? Probably not for the most part. So with that said, we're going to go ahead and hop into the game, see how they go, and see how absurd we can truly get this deck to be. And if you all enjoy my content, please consider subscribing. Truly helps out the channel a ton. And let's just dive in. My opponent goes first. I have creature Monstrous Rage with the Leyline. Sure. I always reach up to click the Leyline, which I'm not like a fan of. Here's a Swiftspear, and it's attacking. It immediately got the combat, so cut down doesn't seem like it's a thing. But we're pretty much going to play this out the same way we played last turn, or last game, where I just go turn after turn. Alright, they go for Virtue now, because they have to, because it's a sorcery. I just played against the non-sorcery version of the card, the Harvester, so I was like, yeah, I guess they're going for it now, and it's like, oh wait, that one's... They have to. Well, what do we got, boss? What's up? Nothing? No? Not looking to commit my Monstrous Rage right now, I don't think. I'll attack. Do something a little funky, I might, but realistically, I'd like to go for Monstrous Rage next turn and get 2 Challenger triggers more than anything. I could commit here, I guess. There's no Tidebinder to shut anything off. Will they block? I mean, it's a ton of damage. I probably should. Right? It thought about it a bit. Now, one thing I could do... Well, I wanted to dodge cut down, so I'm going to lose 2 cards here. Which, thankfully, it's a land. And honestly, another one of those isn't that bad. But, I mean, that's a lot of damage on one Monstrous Rage and 2 creatures that now also don't die to cut down. Or, like, Disfigure. People were playing that for a while, so... As long as we're dodging, I don't really care. And they concede. That makes sense to me. We don't have the ley line, but I mean, we're on the play. We have a pretty aggressive hand. There's a blue-white one that could be a smite, which exiles. So let's plot this. They might exile this 1/1. We'll try. Could be a smite. Could be Elspeth. What is happening? Get out of here, bro. Now they have to make a decision because there is a Slickshot sitting here. If they're low on resources on what they can and can't remove, the Slickshot's a lot more deadly, obviously. And I think that's the situation we see. So let that happen. Maybe a No More Lies will come up. Maybe they'll feel like they have a counterspell for it, but obviously we have the 3 mana. They don't know that. But could we bait them into it? Because if I cast this and they No More Lies it, I can then pump this like crazy, right? And then throw it at them. Yeah, let's try it. Yep, and that's what we get. So now, this, then take the action, of course, and for 8, and then make 2 2/2s. So we get that to follow through for us, and it comes out to be lethal. One of the small things whenever you see control there is like, you know, they love to get value out of their No More Lies, especially on the free Slickshot. So we force them to interact with it because as Slickshot resolves, obviously that turns a lot harder for them if they only have the smite, because we can kind of play around the smite a lot. But with that said, we find the win anyway. Very cool. 2 flings is a little bad, but I'm gonna keep regardless here. A maul for my opponent. Puts them down. Opens up their range a bit. I think only certain decks maul, and that's exactly what I was thinking. I wish I would have said it so people knew that's what I was thinking, but as soon as they mauled, I was like, I think they might be looking for their ley line. And there's a Scamp, which can find lethal right away. Wow. Well, interesting. I think I have to go for turn inside out on my hero, hit them, and then Sell-Sword, the Scamp, and then them, and then try to win with Slickshot. If they block, then of course I Monstrous Rage and just ignore everything about it. Yep. So now we use this defensively. Then of course it'll die, and then I'll fling 5 upstairs. So they can't have like too many creatures kind of loaded up in their hand of theirs. But we do kind of ourself require 2 turns. Put one of these face down. It has to be a creature, right? So I guess I'll just put that face down. Okay, for 5, I have the 2/2 now. A land would be like fine, because then I might even be able to find the lethal, but there goes one of those. Sure. It will require a lot. Get me dead from 19, but they have 2 mana to operate on. I'm gonna play my Slickshot just out there. Oh, I did not mean to attack with the Slickshot. Hopefully I'm not dead. Oh boy, I don't know what the deal is. Playing mono red's brain rotting me. Like I'm scrolling through TikTok right now. Yep. Well, there's a Swiftspear and a Slickshot, and one spell doesn't get it done. No matter the spell here. So they know I have Monstrous Rage, and that flyer is not going to get it done either. Huh? Man, it's a lot of damage, don't get me wrong, it's 9, but letting yourself be kind of open like this is a little insane to me. I'll show them. They played the ley line. I didn't. I come away with the win, but I'm also on the play. I think obviously we're in a lot worse spot with that scamp on the board if I don't just remove it there. So nice little pickup for us. We get kind of rewarded. I accidentally attacked with this. Not really meaning to, but whatever. It is what it is, I guess. I'm just like keeping any hand of 7 at this point. And I might be dead to the opponent that had the ley line. I did not. They did. They plot a ruckus. Okay. I know pretty much that kind of all or nothing, and I can get there next turn, I think. So let's just play the Slickshot. Get in for 2. And then this is plus 3, 5, 6, 7. I would need a fling, I guess, and the fling's not really going to get it done either. I could use fling to save myself, maybe. It's very possible I could be dead sort of here. They shock. You're playing shock? What? The opponent didn't get the memo. Alright, 3 cards, 2 cards. The worst card is this. That's plus. It already has trample regardless. So that's plus 6, that's plus 12, that's plus 14. And it's at. So I'm dead if they have 2 of these, and that's worst case. Which is like the same as this, I guess, technically, but it's not the same if it's 2 Monstrous Rages. It already has trample. Oh boy, this does not feel great. Play one of these doodads. We'll bring this guy up. I mean, we have to try to win. They have the ley line, I don't. And the ley line makes all the difference in the world in this matchup. And if this was a scamp, I would feel a lot better because we could have pumped the heck out of it and then flung it at him. All right, mate. I got a question for you. Do you know how this card works? There you go. That does it. That pumps it. Now, this has trample regardless, and it's way more damage than I could do. And it had menace, so it's not like I can even block. But my oh my, did it feel like they didn't know how their card worked. Do I have enough? Is this lethal? I don't think so, right? It's so it'd be 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Wow, it's not even enough. What an absurd game. What an absurd game. I have a way to get around it though, I think. I'm pretty sure it's not lethal. I could be wrong, but we're gonna try to do this in a weird way. Sure. Sure. Uh-huh. We want them to somehow be able to kill both of these is what we want. Sure. So I want to... I don't think they'll be able to kill them both though, that's the problem. I guess it doesn't matter too much as long as I absorb it all. So do I want to do this one? Because that'll be 2 toughness and then I'll get my manifest. Yeah. And I'll have that happen. So we absorb it all and then we shoot a ton of damage at him here. I'm gonna draw, but I will manifest this, I guess. They're down to 5. That resolves. I was like, what's the problem here? I was like, oh yeah, my 2/2. All right, sweet. So now I go into Slickshot. Then I move into combat with just Slickshot, I guess. This could be another shock, but I highly, highly doubt it. But the only way I lose is if they... Well, no, my damage will happen first, so it won't matter. I attack like this. Go to blocks. Sure. I go for Monstrous Rage on the down creature, I guess, right? Yes, because that has 1 toughness, so it's actually more damage to Monstrous Rage the creature on the ground. Okay. The thing I was afraid of and had to think about is if they Monstrous Rage their own creature, it would go to 4 toughness. Or they 3-0 it would go to 4 toughness, and when it would die, they would technically be able to kill me. So I had to make sure that I had enough that combat damage would finish. And I would win through it before this happens. When it goes first, I have a Leyline, I have a hero, I have spells, I keep. Yes. They're blue-white. Okay. Blue-white in this economy, dude? I don't believe it. These aren't real gamers. Do I jam a spell? Oh, maybe. Let's try. That instantly resolved, which means they probably have something to deal kind of combat damage or interact with my board. Sure. It should wait here, at least in my opinion. 3 damage. Can't really do much about that. I'll fire this off. It gets exiled, so it's not like it's going to stay protected. We just do this to draw a couple cards. That gets exiled. I hit this for 4. We're having a good time. At least I'm having a good time, sort of, maybe, kind of, I don't know. We're trying to, at least. Could have stuff. Lot. Force them to know about this before the second main phase. Let's move to combat. We want them to know about the Slickshot. Because now they have to evaluate their resources and hope they have enough to deal with this and this on the coming turn. Pass. Because now this is free, of course. You missed a land drop? You did? Opponent. Not what you're supposed to be doing. This one. And now we have kind of like lethal in a couple of ways, especially if there's a counter spell here. Because Prowess on Swiftspear will help it grow out of Elspeth's Smite's range no matter what happens. All instants. So we move to combat. A big attacker. Throw the big spell out. Right here. Now, there's a copy on the stack, so it doesn't really matter what they do. 3 damage. This doesn't really protect it, and it's exiled, so it doesn't really matter. Like that's gone. Sure. They didn't wait for me to target with the other one, so that's interesting. Maybe they have a removal here. Now I'll target with this Monstrous Rage. Huge dude. And honestly, let's let that happen. And I'll throw this up. Maybe they find counterspell, or maybe they have counterspell. Yeah, they do. Okay. Cool. Another miss here, huh? The combat. Let's attack. Now, obviously, they can remove it as well. How many Elspeth Smites you got, my guy? Oh. That's 7. And now we attempt to fling it. They might counter the fling. If they counter the fling, of course, in arena-like fashion, I have 3 more. Yep. And just like that, we find the lethal. Nothing like having multiple flings for 1 mana. It's always been so good at 2. They were like, what if we put it as 1 mana, but also attached to an adventure creature? What a cool game design. My opponent's going first. They're cheating. Problem is I have way worse 6s than 7. 7's pretty okay. Oh, better be careful there, opponent. I'd hate for you to accidentally skip your turn. Nothing like drawing a card and being on the play. Could you imagine? Maybe not their most fun look. I'll tell you that much. I think it's got to be like Slickshot, probably. Or the fling. The fling makes sense too. I don't know why I was like, gotta be the Slickshot, dude. We're in there. Out they block. Yeah, but I'm gonna go ahead and pump this guy. You know, have him primed and ready. Hit him to 13. And then we can look to land Slickshot, play the other turn. Turn inside out. What are you gonna play here? Unstoppable Slasher? That card's like fine. It's like good, obviously. Although I could die next turn. That could happen. Honestly, if they do it to me, they do it to me, you know? I mean, I guess I can prevent it by just like throwing a blocker in front of this for a turn. That could happen. What do I want to do? If I play Slickshot, what's the odds that they die? Not high, because I can't like kill this thing. And I'll just hold the Swiftspear back, I guess. Oop. We have to hold this because if they play another swamp and they play Bloodletter, I die to this. Isn't that wild? Isn't that a wild thing, dude? Isn't that crazy? Oh, I'll play the Bloodletter. Prove me right, please. To use it, to not use it. Nah, I won't use it. I'll let him take it. Take the additional creature, or you take my pump spell. This pump spell is the answer. Sure. Ready. Huh. Also gives trample. Who would have thought? Trample's a good card. Trample's a good effect, dude. That's snapped off, resolved. I have lethal with this. I can do 4. No, still not lethal. Just I don't think. It's just so awkward here. So now they didn't block. So this is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, so it wouldn't have been lethal regardless, I guess. I guess if I target this, right? Does that get it closer? It like does, but. And a 7. Pass. Who knows? Maybe they'll deep cavern bat me again. Alright, my bad, dude. Until the end of turn, I may play it. Okay. I might as well cast this because if I hit a land, the rest does nothing, right? Yeah. It's my duress, and I want it now. Hey, there's Bloodletter. Yeah, that card pretty well. A 2-0 and then gains haste. It dies, make it detective. Interesting. Interesting. Uh-huh. We are in there. We'll have to do math. They block there. So this has more damage. So we definitely want to target it, I believe, is the play. Typically how that math works out. -4. Either way, we got there. Very cool. I called the blood letter, and they tried to hide it from me. All right. So why is this a thing? I have no idea. Why Wizards was like, you know, listen, man, we already knew that Scamp was kind of annoying, so we're going to give you a Heartfire Hero. Now, we know that card's annoying, and it's been like a problem in Best of One, and we haven't really done anything. And Mono-Red on the play has probably got like a well over 60% win rate because, you know, it's a fair, well-balanced game. So what we're going to do, right, is we're going to print Leyline that doubles everything. And we're also going to print you another Monstrous Rage pretty much in red. But when your creature dies, you get more creatures back. And so if you cast one of these with our Leyline out and your creature dies, like a Scamp that you fling on purpose, you'll then get to make 2 2/2s afterward. So good luck. It's weird, man. I don't know. This deck is quite awkward. I think this deck is both like nuts, but also bad at the same time. It is weird that some of the games, like, you'll play this, they'll answer your threat, and you just feel like you can't ever do anything. Or they'll answer in response. Like one of the issues I was running into earlier, it was like my opponent was just playing Into the Flood Maw, and it was just making me pick up my giant creature. Because again, our fling is not instant speed. But at the end of the day, if you're on the play and you put a Leyline in play, and your opponent puts a tap land in, they could die. On their turn 1, your turn 2, because it's so simple for this deck to put a Scamp into play with the Leyline. Obviously, this is like a good hand, but that's kind of why we're playing it, right? But they can put a Leyline in, we play a Scamp, we cast Monstrous Rage and say an inside and out on it. That means that's +6, that's +5, so that's 11, and then we just sack this and fling it and hit him for like 11 more to get hit for like 22. And very quickly it finds lethal, and then you have Heartfire Hero that does really well with other cards and things like that. So it just becomes really annoying for the like decks, for example, like mono black that have to play like hard kill spells. I guess they can play a couple of exile spells, but like Go for the Throat is kind of their worst nightmare, because anytime they try to remove one of these, you just pump it even more and then they get punished. Or you do turn inside now, or you do the other one and you not only hit them for more damage, you then make a 2/2 after, right? So it just gets really weird. It's such a hard deck to interact with. Playing this deck, I will give one word of advice. If you play this deck and then you go play any other deck, you should just take a break for a while from playing Magic, because oh my, did I not feel the brain rot of this deck after a while. I was kind of like keeping anything, putting a Leyline in play. I just got done counting. I was like, I'm not counting anymore. And that's kind of why I ended the video, because I was like, this is about 12, whatever. Can I fling it? Yeah, sure. I'll just jam it, see if it works. So it's a little bit weird to be a little careful in that. So if you do like want to ever try it out, because here's the big kicker, dude. After all this is said and done, I can't even be mad if people want to play this. Not really needed. You can play without it. At 12 rares, bro. 16 if you're feeling spicy. This can be pretty much, this can be red black Painland. I don't even know if that's in here, but like, you can just play 18 mountains if you really want to. It's not that bad. And here's all commons and uncommons. So that's why this deck can be incredibly popular. Of the new set, if you've been playing red for a while, the only thing you really have to craft is these ley lines. Outside of that, you can get this deck super cheap on a budget and just play it and win. So with that knowledge, let's all submit blue-white control and cry. Bye-bye.